15 July every year is observed as World Youth Skills Day. And the theme for this year's observance is reimagining youth skills post-pandemic. The observance of this year's program, its focus is on the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. This is the JAB Show, partnering with you to unleash your career, your life, and your business. I'm Joe Abbas Bangura. Don't forget that the JAB Show is coming to you by courtesy of Life by Design and in partners. They include AfriCell, RC Bank, AYV Media, Empire, Chicken Town, Sweet You Life, Sweet You Mott, and Inky Media. Also, the station you listen or watch the show on, they are also part of why you are able to get this today. Our special partners for today are the Skills Development Fund project, funded by the governments of Sierra Leone and the World Bank, and all its partners will include the National Youth Commission and the TVET Coalition, etc., etc., etc. As we observe World Youth Skills Day today, and I said again, the theme is reimagining youth skills post-pandemic, post-COVID. How important is youth skills in the equation for national development and even world, the quality of life of people around the world. And there's somebody who's involved in driving this agenda in the country, in no less a person than the National Youth Commissioner, Mr. Ngolo Katta. He's my guest today on the show. Katta, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Joe, for having me.
Now,
it's a pleasure.
Now, we've connected a lot in the past, and there's this saying that the broken become masters at mending. Power becomes the sum total of pain. Power is the sum total of pain. It's the pain you went through in life that gives you the power and the effect that you have to life. Because you've been broken, you know how to mend, and you can help other people mend. You have a history of going through as a young person and fighting for yourself from a single parent, brought up by your mom. And you fought to be able to make sure you occupy your space in life and set up an NGO for yourself and fought all the way to build and establish it. You've always been a fighter.
I have.
Not because things have been put for you on a silver platter on the table.
No. I'm a peasant, young, rural boy who grew up from a rural community. Of course, I was in a university setting, so I had a very strong foundation. And like you said, I went to very good primary school, university primary school. I went to a university secondary school initially, then I went to the boys' school, which is one of those extraordinary schools built for sons of paramount chiefs.
I wouldn't say anything about I wouldn't say anything about the Albert Academy. I will
imagine that they are brothers, you know.
I wouldn't say anything about the Albert Academy.
I will keep that relationship. But interesting. So after that, I went to university in July and I studied agriculture. But, you know, within my family, I mean, we were quite very determined. So the issues around bread and butter, daily life, was fought within our family life. So, for example, we're a peasant farming family. So there was a very strong, in fact, principle.
Did you work on the farm?
I did, from a small young boy.
What kind of things did you farm?
I mean, rice farm. I mean, we mix crops. So the core is that we want rice at the end of the day, and I eat country rice from January to December. So there was everything, because we were just very committed. But there was also what my mom and my father would used to say, that look, you leave school, you go to the farm. There's no food at the house.
Food is at the farm. So
food is at the farm.
If you're not at the farm,
so if you're not at the farm, find other means of getting food, but you won't get it. When they say food is at the farm, it's the best nutritious food that you want to expect. So if na cassava leaf, you get all the nyamsa kumsa away for the inside. So you are determined to knock that 7 to 10 miles to get to the farm. So it's not just a short program.
It was that far.
Walking to the farm. So it's been a very determined journey. There's one more thing I'll add, just to wrap up.
Right.
When we were growing up, my mother brought in the whole business of ogiri, the sesame pounded stuff.
Yeah.
And it transformed our lives when we were young onto university. Up till now, as I sit here. That has been an over 50 years business my mother developed. And everybody had his own basket to sell so that it pays your school fees or it buys school materials for you.
And usually it's not the best of things to sell. If you sell ogiri, you can sell groundnut and it's okay, but to sell ogiri because of the odor, there's something demeaning. There's something demeaning about ogiri.
Up to this moment, I will tell you that the ogiri that my mother fixes has no odor. Okay. And so because she has principles,
that thing she follows to be able to do it.
And if you break them, then they believe that's why you get there. But if you follow them, and we've lived with it.
What was the plan for this year in terms of observing this day?
Well, first of all, the day itself is a showcase day. It's an awareness day. The whole essence around the day is to actually raise awareness about skills for young people,
right? For
decent job and for empowerment engagements. The issue of skills and jobs for youth feature prominently in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDG Target 4.4 that calls for sustainable increase in the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills. So critically, that's what this whole day is about.
Youth and adults who have relevant skills.
So this year, we intended to showcase what government and other partners have done in transforming the skills development landscape. The technical vocational education and training landscape. Unfortunately, because of the heat of the Delta strain, we've not been able to do that, but we have decided to hold stronger public relations.
Like what we're doing now.
I'm just from 98.1.
Yes.
My colleagues are in Good Morning Coffee. We'll be in AYV live programs. So across this day, both in Freetown and out of Freetown.
And I see from your cap and also my cap is the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, TVET Coalition, and coming together with all the partners. And you are the National Youth Commission is part of the TVET Coalition, and you are chairman for the...
I've taken over as chair of the TVET
Coalition.
Because the whole formation of the TVET Coalition it's about practice. It's about building a community of practice. Practitioners dealing with skills development issues, technical vocational education and training issues. So we have the private sector there, led by the Chamber of Commerce, and many other businesses are there. We also have the public sector. So the ministries are there. Ministry of Technical and Higher Education is there. The Ministry of Basic Education is there. The National Youth Commission, the Ministry of Youth. We also have a local content agency, SMIDA, NCTV, and these are all government institutions are part of the coalition. But then we have international and local NGOs. So we have GIZ is one. We have, of course, World Bank comes in once a while to discuss critical issues. We also have NGOs.
So that's a big coalition.
So basically, the coalition speaks to engaging advocacy.
So there's always this thought and feeling that it's those ones who are grade C. Because there's nothing else to drop out, because there's nothing else to do. They are not A, they failed all the kids.
So let's push them there.
So they push them there. That was a thought which I think was...
So we are reimagining that this is no longer the thoughts. We are dreaming daylight. We're dreaming in daylight, saying...
And ultimately at the end of the day, this is a pathway to the future.
Way from primary school to secondary school, you are building your capacity to become a technician.
And imagine footballers, most exposed people in the world, whether it's Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi and all of those guys, football is their biggest gift. Imagine if opportunity had not been provided, and the only opportunity that was there is for somebody to be a science student and stuff, or a lawyer. But you don't have a football academy where they can be able to, which are skills, super skills now.
So that's what we're talking about.
Super skills.
And today, it's transformed the world. It's innovation.
So that's why skills is important. And one of the things I know you did, the coalition did at the very early days with the Chamber of Commerce, who's part of this, is to say, you conducted a diagnostic survey.
So this was because, in the past couple of years, TVET has been really relegated. So even when you tell your son or your daughter that, look, I want you to do TVET, I mean, believe me, even the mindset of parents, even the mindset of children will say, oh, I mean, I have been in communities where parents will say, this me picking, they go turn lawyer. And this is brother because in the first part school,
so now
we don't speak,
because you know bright better.
It's completely misnomer.
It is
to speak that way today. What we're speaking now is that we want people that we will begin learn and grow up for being technicians. For example, AC.
You need to have people. I need to look at the stuff that you even have here in the studio, and you know, it's not so somebody with a bachelor's degree that does this.
You cannot. Even if you are a lawyer, you can.
You don't have to hire you, but you have to hire
a technician.
Air conditioner technician to do all of those things.
This door was not fixed by just an engineer. It was fixed by a welder. Somebody who knows. And exactly. So if you don't create the environment where they are built, their quality of what they deliver is built at that level. So skills, it's about quality. It's about precision. So that is why before we started really beginning this conversation, we felt that it was important to do a diagnostic study. So with GIZ, and other partners, the coalition, set aside to do a study. And the study was focused on the mismatch. Because we went to private sector and said, because we've always had that the conversation where young people are not being given jobs is because what they come out from university with does not match what is in the job market. A lot of social science graduates and stuff, peace and conflict studies and stuff, but when they come to the marketplace, that's not what the job market looks for. So you spoke to the job market, to the private sector. What are the skills you're looking for? And then you work backwards. The private sector in every country is the highest employer. Not government. And so out of all the conversation, we realized that with the growing economy of Sierra Leone, the mines was one of those private sectors that requires specialized trainings. Industrial welders, we didn't have. So we had to bring them from Ivory Coast, Guinea, and other parts of the country. Today, we are being trained in country. We didn't have young people who would drive heavy-duty trucks. We have to bring them from Ethiopia to Ghana, for South Africa to do. Today, young women are driving heavy-duty trucks. So the first was a diagnostic study. So the diagnostic study identified a set of thematic areas where there will be skills. Don't go away. Stay with us. We're going to come back. Thank you again, Mr. Commissioner, for joining us.